Law enforcement fights crime in our neighborhoods. The eyes and ears of the community can prove vital in these efforts. Stay vigilant, your tip could crack the next case. This is a KLFY Plus exclusive, Acadiana Crimestoppers.
Welcome to this special edition of Acadiana Crimestoppers, a show which partners law enforcement and community to help solve and prevent crime on our streets. In this episode, we look back at what law enforcement agencies are doing to tackle crime in their respective areas. Let's begin with Lafayette Parish, where officers representing the 4 main cities talk about their special efforts in order to make the community a safer place. So we are here with Lafayette Police Sergeant Robin Green and Lieutenant Nicole Oakes. Thank you so much for joining us. We haven't had Lafayette Police on Crimestoppers yet, so we're so excited to have you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, absolutely.
And just a lot of great things to talk about. That's why I wanted you guys on. Firstly, the new police chief.
Yes.
Recruitment has been a big initiative that he's been driving, and things are looking good.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So that's one of the things that he focused on whenever he became police chief, because he wanted to enhance the department by bringing in more officers and basically bringing our numbers down as far as for openings. And so year to date, we have actually hired 37 officers as of today. And so right now we currently have 21 openings. So anybody watching is looking for a job and interested in law enforcement, come on down.
Yeah,
but
I remember him, I think it was CivicCon, he was talking with the mayor president, and he was saying how many openings they had when he took over, and how those openings have just really diminished. So that really speaks to it's working. The recruitment process is working for Lafayette Police.
Yes, it is. And so to help with the recruiting process, what he did was he gave out background checks, which is part of the recruiting process, to our internal affairs division. That way our recruiter can focus more on getting out there, reaching people, and getting more people interested in coming to our department. So by streamlining the process and taking a little bit off the recruiter's plate, it would allow her to have more capabilities to reach people and get out there and basically, you know, just hire more officers.
Yeah, and he's restructured or basically added the amount of patrol that is on the streets of Lafayette. And of course that helps in terms of bringing crime down. Correct? More eyes.
Yes, it does. So it helps with our response time, because now we have more officers on the road. And so it increases our time to get to calls, because we have more officers on the shifts. And then we have more boots on the ground, more officers that can address the needs of our community, because our community is growing. So as our community grows, we need more officers on the road. And not to mention, it is a safety issue when we can have more officers out there and not smaller shifts where we're sending one officer to a call. Now we can double the capacity of officers that we can dispatch to calls.
Yeah, and in terms of community policing, you guys have a new division that has been created at Lafayette Police, and that's why you're here, Lieutenant Oakes. Tell me about that.
So what the chief did was, one of the first things that he did whenever he became chief of police was he created the community engagement section / division. There are 5 lieutenants that are assigned to each precinct, because there are 5 precincts within the city. We work with the council members to address quality of life issues and handle those, but we also take complaints directly from citizens to address what their complaints may be. It may be anything from traffic to an actual crime that's been happening, like burglaries in their neighborhood. You know, a lot of people are really hesitant to call 911, and that is a big message that I really want to get out there, is that we do need people, really good people that are in their neighborhoods who care. We need them to reach out and call 911, because without our community, we can't handle any situations. The great thing about the community engagement lieutenants is that we're there, we're hearing in real time what the issues are and their concerns are, we're addressing them as quickly as we can, and we have access to different departments within the city that regular people may not. Our regular citizens are busy. They don't have time to track things down. And a lot of us have been there, all of the lieutenants have been there 20 plus years. So we have some experience in reaching out to the different sections of the city and being able to help our community. And that's what it's all about, is hearing what their issues are and helping them to resolve them.
It's helping the community, and tips are so important. Everyone thinks these detectives are all just sitting by these computers using AI, using all this advanced, and you guys do. But sometimes it's just tips from the community that can solve crimes and bring perps to justice. And that's why those tips and the volume of tips increasing, that's really important.
I can tell you, it is amazing how many people have been positive in their response. I get emails with videos that I can forward to our detectives, forward to the officers who are working the road so that they know I've put details in place in certain neighborhoods because they're experiencing higher than normal criminal activity, usually car burglaries, because, you know, we have youth in our community who like to go and pull door handles. Everyone knows this. And so part of that is in pulling those door handles, they're also getting guns, they're taking money, they're taking the cars themselves because people are leaving their keys in their cars.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so it's a great concern. And you know what, we're fortunate to live in Lafayette because our people in Lafayette have reached out to me and to the other lieutenants and given us the information that we need, and we're able to get it to our officers. And so when our officers are out there patrolling, they're having an idea. Okay, well, I know that last week it was a black car, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look to see if a black car is in the neighborhood that maybe doesn't belong there. It gives us something to work with while they're out there, and we're not just starting from scratch. And it's amazing at what their cameras pick up. So
yeah, I was just about to mention that the increase in intel is great, but everyone has a camera now.
Yes.
You know, it used to be rare to catch someone committing a crime on camera, but now everyone has a doorbell camera.
Yes.
Almost, and not sure the exact population of Lafayette. It's probably hundreds of thousands, right? So you have a lot of cameras out there, a lot of homes, a lot of cameras, and you guys have to go through all of that data.
Not
so that
to
helps
mention
in that.
our cameras as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have them all throughout the city right now, and so that is a great tool to, you know, defer criminal activity. And so that's part of her job too, because people may request camera systems.
You guys have eyes and ears everywhere, don't you?
Yes.
We're trying. We are trying, and it is a process. So if you do want to, if there is criminal activity in an area and we can prove that there's criminal activity there, that's why it's so important to make that logged call through 911, because I can go back and access that data. Then I can say, well, this particular place is having an increase in activity, and they do need a camera put up as soon as possible, versus someone who would just like to have a camera in their neighborhood because it makes them feel safe. I want to help them also, but really where the criminal activity and the crime is occurring, that's where we need to address the major issues and put those cameras.
Yeah, so part of why we started this show, Acadiana Crimestoppers, we want to bond law enforcement with the people they serve. So I'm going to give each of you a couple of seconds, just any message that you guys want to give to the community. Well, we'll start with you, Sergeant Green.
Well, we want the community to know that we are here for you, and that anything that they may have they think might be pertinent information for us, don't hesitate to call. Any information is always useful for us, and so a lot of times we have people that be like, well, I just don't want to bother y'all. You're not bothering us. That's what we're here to do. We're here to perform a service, and our service is helping the community. So by all means, and if they don't want to call us directly, they can call Lafayette Crimestoppers and give that information, dialing 232-TIPS, or they can use the app on their phone. They can either download our app and submit a tip through our app, or they can use the Crimestoppers at the P3 mobile app. So there are so many different avenues, because I do hear from time to time that people are afraid to give us that information. So there are avenues where they can provide us with the information and still stay anonymous.
Lieutenant?
I would like to say that we have a great community in Lafayette. We really, truly do, and that our people, our citizens really care, and that's what helps us to do our job so effectively. Our officers are also trained to interact with the public. So I want them to keep in mind that we do this for a reason, because our hearts and our souls are in it, and we really truly do want to help people. Don't hesitate to call 911. It is important. It's not just about what you think might be an emergency. It's what bothers you. Follow your gut. If something doesn't feel right, it's just a phone call. And if you don't want to call the emergency line, then call the police department, 291-8600. And there's always 24/7 someone to answer that phone and tell you whether you need to make that report or not. Also, community engagement, we're here. If you have an issue with whether it's a car that's in your neighborhood or something that you don't feel good about and you want further information, that's what we're here for. Call the police department and ask for your precinct lieutenant, community engagement lieutenant, and let us help you with that.
All right, thank you both so much for being here on Acadiana Crimestoppers. We are here with Assistant Police Chief Tony Ashe of Broussard. So how are you doing today?
Doing fine, and we appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, it's the first time we've had members of Broussard's finest on Acadiana Crimestoppers. So what's going on in Broussard, man? It's a great city. You were telling me that off camera. It's just such a great place to be. Yeah,
but Broussard is a fast-growing city. We recently was noted as the 8th safest city in the state, which is a great accomplishment.
That's a great accomplishment.
That's not just contributed to the law enforcement, it's contributed to the citizens of Broussard. You know, we have plenty of eyes and ears out there helping.
Well, the bond is, and that's something that we talk about on our show all the time, the bond between law enforcement and community. And it's just so important because you guys rely on the community so much to help solve those crimes and also to get those crimes. You need the community to report.
Oh, it's always about building relationships. You know, you start by meeting one person at a time, then that leads to many people at a time. We cannot do it without the people, and we realize that.
And you guys are doing a great job just in general because you were saying that you guys are fully staffed and there's more eyes on the road. Tell me about that.
Well, we're real proud of our agency. Chief Vance Olivier has worked hard since he's been there to get the numbers up of actual police officers with the agency. We are 100% full. We're very proud of that. We've made adjustments on our staffing, putting more policemen on the road, so you have more eyes and ears out there, and it's a better response. I think people notice it, and I think that's part of the reason why we're doing so well.
Yeah, you said two words that really stuck with me: visibility and response times, and it helps both to have more bodies on the road, right?
It surely does. And not only we have a great response, but if something does happen, we have a great investigative unit that looks at these things and it really investigates the crime to its fullest. And no matter if it's a large incident or a small incident, you know, all of them are important to us.
And it's the difference being a small town. You told me this off camera. I want you to tell the people just the personal feel of it being a smaller city.
Well, being in a smaller city, you know, you have opportunities, you know, for people not just to call you chief, assistant chief, mayor. They know you by your name. Yeah. So we actually have that very personal bond with the people. So, you know, while traveling through Broussard, we have the opportunities of meeting these people, building relationships, and for people that we don't know, you get an opportunity to do it. You know, the guys are riding with their car windows down, you know, stopping by, telling people hello. Yeah. But it's not just about telling them hello, it's about a true engagement. People know if you're sincere or not. So I think we really have a great bond, or people know that we're here to help. You know, we are public servants, and that's our jobs.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk to you about this major thing, the National Night Out. So tell me a little bit about what that is and why you guys do it, why it's so important.
Well, National Night Out is a national event. It's about building relationships. So we're there in the community. Our National Night Out will be held this Tuesday, October 7th, at the Broussard Sports Complex at St. Julian Park. The event's going to be from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's an opportunity to meet not just citizens of Broussard, but anybody that wants to come join us. It's an opportunity to have some one-on-one time. We have plenty of first responding agencies that come with us. They'll have static displays. Our local fire department will be there. They have their displays. They'll have water events for the kids. They'll have food. It's a lot of family fun.
So it's basically you guys saying, we are the Broussard Police Department, you're the citizens we serve, let's get together, let's have a party.
Yep, let's get together, but it's not exclusively Broussard Police Department.
Yes, exactly.
We have other first responders. We have Acadian ambulances. We have the fire department. We have the sheriff's office. We have St. Martin Sheriff's Office. I mean, it's a big group of law enforcement professionals along with other first responders.
All people that sacrifice themselves every day to serve their community and make the life of the citizens of that community better.
That's a good way to put it.
Well, thank you so much for being with us, Assistant Police Chief of Broussard, Tony Ashe. We thank you so much for being here, and we hope you come back soon.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate y'all.
We're joined by Youngsville Police Chief Jean-Paul Broussard. It's your first time being on Acadiana Crimestoppers, so thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate your time.
And I hear a lot of good things are happening in Youngsville. You were telling me just about the recruiting numbers, right? The recruiting numbers are up, and there's a reason for that. So tell me what's going on at the Youngsville Police Department.
With help from the City Council and the Mayor, we're able to raise the pay scale, starting pay for officers from $42,000 to $45,000 last month, which is a great help to recruit. We're down to 2 openings right now, so if anybody wants to become a police officer, come apply at the Youngsville Police Department. We're down to 2 openings. When I took office in January or December, we had 5 openings and a couple people retired. So we ended up with 7, but now we're down to 2. So that's a great help.
So is that something that you advocated for to the City Council and the Mayor, or is that something that the Mayor had on his priority agenda that he wanted to do?
It was something when I came in, I wanted to do, make sure these officers are well taken care of because they're the ones that take care of us day in and day out. They're on the street. One thing when I came in was getting more feet on the ground, getting more officers on the road. So we did some movement around the department, getting some more guys on patrol.
And, okay, so 2 questions. One, why is it important, obviously, for morale to boost that pay, and how does that help recruitment? And 2, why is it important to have more officers on the road?
To have more officers on the road, it helps because it deters criminals from coming into the city to commit crimes. Also, with morale, you make a little more, it improves morale.
Exactly. And your department, you're doing other things to try to put more eyes and ears in the community. So tell me about your community watch programs.
Absolutely. We're starting community neighborhood watch programs throughout the city, getting with the HOA boards and the other boards for the neighborhoods. If anybody's interested in starting neighborhood watch with the city of Youngsville and the city of Youngsville, we'd be happy to go talk to them. Detective Catone is spearheading it with us. He's the one that you'd need to contact at the Youngsville Police Department.
And I think that's a really great thing because it's almost like our name, Acadiana Crimestoppers. I was telling you this off camera. It's almost like a miniature Crime Stoppers.
It is.
Because you guys go to these HOAs and then you have community volunteers, meaning residents in those communities make up the neighborhood watch groups. And you were saying if you see something, report it. Right?
Yes, sir, absolutely. That way, if you see something in your neighborhood, give us a call. No matter how big or small it is, we don't mind looking into it to try to solve stuff, to prevent crimes, to make sure everybody feels safe.
And of course, having more officers on the road will help that, but there are always those areas where you need residents. That's actually why we created Acadiana Crimestoppers, because we wanted to be able to allow the community to help law enforcement. We think it's a partnership, and it seems like you have really brought into that idea.
Absolutely. Getting the community more involved with the department, building community trust between the community and the department.
And are there things that your department has done to just outreach to its citizens and build that trust?
Getting out in the community, stopping and talking to somebody. It means the world to somebody. Stop and walk and shake somebody's hand, talk to them, listen to them. That's what a lot of the officers do. We have a great department, great officers over there.
Yep. And you said that you guys are getting started more with collecting data and the metrics to see all of these initiatives that we're deploying. Are they working? Are crime rates dropping? So now you guys are collecting that data and you're going to see what's working and what maybe needs to be adjusted, correct?
Correct. Yep. We're looking at data all the time just to make sure, see if they have any hot spots or anything, or what type crimes are getting reoccurring in the same areas, to try to put more officers in that area to deter criminals from committing crimes or catching them.
Yeah. So here's a more personal question, Chief. How does it feel to be Youngsville Police Chief? What kind of honor has that been? Just tell me what you said you were elected late last year?
December, yes, sir.
So tell me how your first year has been.
It's been great. They have a lot of movement, getting stuff to where I think it needs to be. But it's an honor that the citizens of Youngsville elected me to do this job. And from day one, I said I would not let them down, and I've been working hard, long hours to make sure I would not let them down.
And what is your goal for the future? Do you have any long-term goals that you would like to implement or do as a department over the next year or two?
Expand the department, get more officers on patrol, expand the traffic section, CID section, the different areas of the department to make sure that the citizens are safe. Okay. Where we can most benefit to make sure that people go home and feel safe.
Well, so Police Chief, the reason why we created this show is for people like you to be able to come on and talk to your citizens directly and tell them how you feel about what you're doing and what you want to do for them. So what's a lasting statement that you would want to tell the people of Youngsville?
Lasting statement to tell the citizens of Youngsville: if you see something, report it. Make sure you take all your valuables out of your vehicles. Make sure you lock all your doors. Lock your car doors. Go double check at the end of the night. Because criminals, if they're going through neighborhoods to break into cars, they're going to pull on car doors. If they see something valuable, they might even bust out a window. Try to help yourself by taking the valuables and locking your vehicle to help us.
Chief Jean-Paul Broussard, thank you so much for joining us on Acadiana Crimestoppers, and we would love to have you back for further updates.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
We have Doosan Police Chief Kip Judice. Thank you so much for joining us and for your time today.
Our pleasure. Thank you for having us.
So the reason why I wanted to bring you on, and this has been a topic and a problem across the whole country, but you guys are really trying to tackle a problem that has been going on across the country and with the border and everything else. It's fentanyl.
Yes.
And that has been a huge problem the past few years, especially. You said in Doosan, you guys are trying to do something about it.
Yes, sir. So at the height of the fentanyl crisis in Lafayette Parish, we looked at the population of our community, which is less than 1% of the entire parish of Lafayette. But we had almost 25% of opioid-related deaths, fentanyl-related deaths.
Wow.
And so we said, this is not acceptable. This is something that we have to become much better at than any other law enforcement agency. So we educated our officers. We started educating the community through some programs we had there, making sure they were aware of the dangers of fentanyl. And then we enacted several proactive and really strong programs that have helped us to bring those numbers down. And so we're pleased to see the results, but we're not stopping. Yeah. One fentanyl death is too many. And unfortunately, you know, we've had those. And so as we continue to work really hard and try to make those stances in our community of a standard that is unacceptable, it helps everybody. So as the police chief, one of the things I think that is incumbent upon me every day is to go out in that community and make sure our youth understand the dangers of the drugs. And I'm talking about not necessarily the dangers of buying fentanyl, because that's not what's happening in the community. They're buying marijuana that is laced with fentanyl. They're buying other drugs, not intending to ingest a deadly drug, but they're getting the deadly overdoses. So we're explaining to them that the recreational drug use that was acceptable to previous generations is not acceptable anymore. We have to really be aware of what we're putting in our bodies, because it could result in death. So that is one step, and it's helped. We've seen the youth take that and run with it, so to speak. The other thing that we're doing is we're targeting known drug dealers. When we have a fentanyl overdose where a person survives, we talk to them, we bring them in, we try our best to identify where they got those drugs. And when we get that information, we're able to establish a license plate number for the offender. We have license plate recognition systems in our community. We put it in our system. And so when that car comes into our community, we're alerted by email, by text message, and we're on you. And then we're going to be in a position that if we can't get you stopped prior to you getting to your destination. We're going to be close by, and if there is an overdose, we have Narcan. We can distribute that and try to save a life. So we're doing a number of things across the board, Trevor, to try to make sure that we're being responsive to the needs of that community, making sure that we bring down those numbers tremendously. You know, in Lafayette Parish last year, there were about 70 deaths with opioid. With fentanyl, I'm sorry. 70 deaths with fentanyl overdoses. Right now, we're at 40, and we're past the halfway mark. So it's trending down, and that's a good thing. I'm proud to say in the town of Dusson, our numbers are also trending down, and we're no longer at 25% of the overall deaths. However, like I said, one is too many. So we're going to work until we get to 0 deaths.
Yeah. This license recognition system is, it sounded really high tech. So you're saying that if you guys get any intelligence that someone is dealing fentanyl, you put their license plate in a database, and if they are caught moving into Dusson, you guys are alerted if your camera system finds this license plate.
Absolutely. So this technology does read license plates. It takes up the digits and it transforms them into some kind of data, and then it shoots out that, hey, this is the plate number that you're looking for. And so it sends an alert to every one of my officers via email and text message on their phone saying this vehicle has just come into your community at this spot, which gives us a starting point, right? And then one of our other cameras may pick it up 3 or 4 blocks down the road, giving us a direction of travel, moving which way. And then we were able to say, okay, well, we know that there's a user that lives on this street, and that's kind of where he's headed, so let's position ourselves close by, make sure we're ready in the event that there's an emergency there. And of course, if we can catch that offender prior to getting to his destination, committing a violation, we will pull him over and do an investigative stop and try to determine what his intention is in our community. We have identified numerous drug dealers, few within our community. So they all travel from outside coming in, bringing the drugs into our community, into our people's lives. So that has also been a factor for us to be able to use this technology, as opposed to having a person in town that's distributing the drugs to the people that are dying.
Yeah, and to me, that's just so amazing. This is a relatively new problem, like you said, but new problem, new technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you guys are tackling it, and the numbers are showing it.
And Trevor, we always have to be one step ahead, right? In law enforcement, the further you lag behind, the criminal just moves, further down. So this technology has helped us a lot in a lot of different crimes, but specifically, we are using it for this fentanyl interactions. Our district attorney has been very proactive with regards to prosecuting cases. Out of the 4 cases in the state of Louisiana where people were convicted for selling fentanyl to someone that died, the Lafayette Parish has 2 of those. So that's a big statement from our district attorney that he's going to go after these offenders and make sure that we get them held accountable. So it's my job as the police chief to bring a case to the district attorney that he can prosecute, and that we can get these guys off the street as soon as possible.
Speaking of statement, so your viewers are going to be watching this, your citizens in Dusson are going to be watching this. What is your lasting message? Of course, with television, you can talk to a lot of people at once. What is the message you want to send out?
Well, certainly, look, the Dusson Police Department is there to help all of our citizens, right? But we don't know it all. We need them to come forward, provide us with that critical data, critical information. What you see, what you hear, what you know is critical in helping us help you. We have a strong relationship with our community. I'm very proud of the fact that our officers interact with the community in a very positive way, and we get a lot of responses back. And so, never enough. I want it to be better. I want it to get better, and certainly want to encourage our residents. Come by and visit. Come get a cup of coffee. Come say hi. Let us know what's going on in your neighborhood, because we can't be everywhere all the time. And so, just that connection helps us help you. I spend a lot of time in a one day visiting with different people in the community. I go to different segments of the community, and I try to visit with them and hear what their concerns are, what their problems are. And oftentimes, I hear kind of a similar message, that the policemen are not always responsive to what their complaint is. But the complaints are not always reported to us.
Yeah.
They see something that they don't like, but then they don't want to bother the police officer. Or we can't solve a problem we don't know about, Trevor. And so we want the community to know that we want to help you. We want to solve these problems. We want 0 fentanyl-related deaths in the town of Tucson. We need your help to do it.
And you guys are on the way to that. Thank you so much for your time today, Chief.
God bless you. Thank you.
Every week, Lafayette City Marshal Reggie Thomas showcases his most wanted fugitives. He has also talked about other things his office is tasked with, like keeping the parks in Lafayette safe. We have Lafayette City Marshal Reggie Thomas with us, and then we have Lieutenant Trev Pat that's also with us. He's over the park. So first off, let's talk about the operation. This is what I really wanted to know about. You have made it a mission to clean up the city parks. Can you talk about that more?
It was very important to me for our kids to be safe. And I think that's important to every parent. Every parent wants their kids to be safe. So one of the areas where kids are at mostly is at the parks. So it was several things that was happening at the parks that, you know, we really thought that we needed to have some policeman involvement. And we used to have a park police in the past, but that was dissolved. So the mayor came to us and said that she wanted to start the park police back again. And now I then started the park police back. And what I had to do was actually hire some officers, actually do training in the parks to get the parks where we want them at.
And of course, that's so important to have safety at the parks because we're trying to get communities and families back there.
So important. One of the things that we want is for everybody to be safe. We want people to see the marshals out there. So we started a park police. So our park police now is not only out just making sure that everybody's safe, but we're starting to be a part of the parks. We're starting to be a part of the community and start to work. We have a good time out there at the parks.
Well, I know you all have a good time. What are some things? Well, first off, I would like to talk about just cleaning up the parks. Have you guys made any significant arrests or maybe have ended some criminal activity in the parks?
Yeah, I'll tell you like this. No matter what you're doing, sometimes you have some type of criminal activity that really make people feel unsafe or people are doing things that's unsafe. So what I did, I assigned it to my lieutenant. And I say, listen, if we have some issues, if we have some problems out on this park, I want it cleaned up. And he then began to clean up the parks.
Okay, so can you talk a little bit about that, Lieutenant Pat, just about cleaning up the parks? What progress have you guys made in that?
We made a big progress. One recent call we had was in Oak Lawn Park. They had a guy was sleeping by the restroom. So my guys went over there and made an arrest. The guy ended up with 26 ounces of marijuana, some heroin, and a weapon that we took off the streets, cleaning out the parks. Another thing we are doing, we working on making community service in the parks to clean out the parks, like pick up trash, just trying to make the parks more clean for everyone to enjoy and have fun.
So just drugs, weapons, all bad things that because of this operation, you guys have removed that from the city parks. So already the city parks are getting safer.
And we can't do this by ourselves, and this is so important. We get calls from citizens that live around the park, and they contact us and they say, look, we having an issue. We see this guy, he's harassing people, or this guy, he's not looking at the kids right. You know, we're afraid of somebody. So they contact us, and the marshals come right out. You know, a lot of people are talking about they're seeing the marshals all over the place. They're seeing the marshals every time they have an event going on. You have a marshal there. When you have a problem, when you see people that's unhoused, that's look like they're living in tents or whatever, we're out there working. Everyone is telling me they see a big difference, and we want to make a big difference. So we're going to be out on our parks, and you're going to see the marshal's office working really hard to make sure our parks are safe.
And it's about making them safe, but it's also about bonding with the community. Your deputies have done things in the park just to bond with the community, correct? You said y'all have fun.
And to me, that's the most important thing. You know, we do everything from snow cones to Special Olympics. So we work with Special Olympics in the park. You know, we play basketball. You know, we are showing the community that police officers could be somebody or are somebody that can be friends. We're people just like everybody else. So it's very important to us to make sure that not only are we cleaning the parks up, not only are we making everyone feel safe, but we are enjoying doing the job. And I think that's most important to myself and to my deputies.
So, Lieutenant, how does it feel to be a part of this?
It feels great to be a part of something. I have my son who's in our Explorer program, and he cries to go home because he wants to stay at the office because he see what we do in the park. We're always involved with the community, the kids. It's just great to be a part of.
And your message is you are not leaving the parks. You are there to stay, right?
My message is the parks are safe, and the parks are probably as safe as they've ever been. And if you have any issue, this is very important, don't hesitate to contact the marshal's office. Or if you see a marshal in a park and you have an issue, wave the marshal down and talk to the marshals. They are there to protect the parks. They are there to keep your kids safe, to keep you safe. So we will tell you that the marshal will always now be in the parks, and we have enough officers that you're gonna always see a marshal. So we want everybody to be safe, and that's what the marshal's office is all about.
Yep, Lafayette City Marshal Reggie Thomas and Lieutenant Pat, thank you so much for your time.
Anytime.
Thank you.
This is a KLFY Plus exclusive, Acadiana Crimestoppers.
We also spoke with authorities in St. Landry Parish. Sheriff's officials spoke with us as recent as 2 weeks ago. Here's that interview and one with Opelousas Police as well. We are here with Major Mark LeBlanc from St. Landry Parish, and of course the very well-known St. Landry Parish Crimestoppers, very successful program. And the reason why I'm inviting you on is because you guys are doing a lot of great work. Well, you're always doing great work in St. Landry Parish, but you got this new grant. It's called the Project Safe Neighborhoods Grant. And at least tell me about the grant, but we're also going to get into what you guys are doing with it, and it's really some eye-popping stuff.
Well, thank you for having us on, and we're always happy to showcase the talents of our men and women that work so very hard. The Project Safe Neighborhood is a DOJ grant administered through the Shreveport region, and it filters down to us and other agencies that utilize these resources to hire officers to work at key time frames, usually late afternoon, evening hours, with an emphasis on entering neighborhoods, other populated areas, and doing enforcement action to mitigate any and all criminal activity.
So it basically allows for proactive policing because, as you said, a lot of things happen at night, so you have to pay these officers overtime if they're working these overnight shifts, and this grant gives you monies to do that.
Right, it absolutely does. Trying to afford that on a regular agency's budget would be next to impossible, so we're very grateful for the DOJ to be able to provide this to us. While they allow the enforcement of any and all laws, we find the most effective measures have been when we're working around narcotics trafficking, trying to get firearms off of our streets, which regrettably the two of those mix quite frequently.
Yeah.
We've had a good success with that.
Yeah, you were going over some of the numbers, and we're going to do that now. So you guys have, you said 6 narcotics agents, and this grant helps you to pay these officers overtime to get out in these neighborhoods, and it's just been really remarkable, some of the progress that has been made.
So some stats just from this year so far. We're looking at 51 felony arrests on various narcotics and weapons charges. There was over 3.5 pounds of crystal meth seized, over 24 pounds of marijuana seized, 1.17 pounds of fentanyl, which is a staggering amount of a very, very deadly drug, and 5.5 pounds or just over of cocaine, 27 grams of heroin, over 1,800 pills of various types that are controlled dangerous substances. The street value of these seizures is over $600,000, and all of this came as the efforts from one of the 6 narcotics detectives.
Wow, and that's something that's just remarkable. So you're saying all of those stats came from one narcotics officer. You guys have 6 of them.
We have 6 of them. They are all contribute. We have some that are new to the team. Some have been veterans. The amount of currency seized by the same narcotics detective was over $43,000 in U.S. currency. And here's one of the most alarming stats. We're grateful to have it because it involves seized weapons. There were over 50 firearms seized. 6 were found to be stolen. 9 were illegally converted into fully automatic weapons.
Wow, and those are all weapons that were taken off the streets, and that could prevent other crimes down the road. A lot of these crimes happen with illegal weapons, and you guys are taking them out of the criminals' hands.
They're working very, very hard. The men and women in that unit are relentless. They spend every day developing leads, and I'm very proud to say a lot of our leads come through St. Landry Crimestoppers. We're able to provide them fundamental intel. They're going to work every day to develop the intel to make sure things are as they've been presented in the tip, develop it however they can, invoke these programs where they can go out in an effort to combat all of this criminal activity.
Yeah, and I know these officers just love doing this because they want to make our streets safe, but it's also nice that because they're working these overnight hours and these nighttime hours, they get paid overtime because of this grant, so they get the pay for all the hard work that they do, and that has to just boost morale.
It does. I see them day in and day out. I engage all of our narcotics, our investigators, our juvenile investigators. I engage these people every single day. That we work together with an effort to learn what they're doing, how to be able to best present it. Thank God for media outlets like yours that are willing to showcase the efforts of all of law enforcement throughout this entire Acadiana area. Because these programs are not just being run by us, they're being run by other agencies. And when you get a unified effort that strikes this hard, if we're able to do this with the limited manpower we have in St. Landry Parish, imagine the scope from Shreveport all the way south of here where these programs exist. That combined effort is what really makes a positive outcome, makes our streets safer, which is what everybody wants.
Yeah, and how would you, well, I mean, it's obvious how you would tie this to the people of the community, but you have the platform here on Acadiana Crimestoppers. What is one thing you would say to them about just the grit of your officers and your detectives and the people that are out on the streets and how much y'all value keeping the community safe?
You know, 47 years in this, I am constantly amazed at the tenacity of our officers, the willingness to go out and work these extra hours. When I tell you I see them in the mornings, they're there every day. And they're dragging. They're tired. They've had a long night. But when I see the production of all of the seizures, all of the arrests, it's gratifying to everybody. And much of this is attributed to our citizens, providing the tips, providing the fundamental information that our officers can start working. We hope that the public doesn't get dissuaded or discouraged, because sometimes this information can take sometimes many weeks or months to develop into something that we can really go after and really see a massive positive result from.
Well, Major Mark LeBlanc, we always love having you here on Crimestoppers, and we hope you return.
On behalf of the sheriff and the hardworking men and women of our narcotics division, we're really grateful to have this opportunity. Thank you.
Mr. Joe Anderson, Public Information Officer with Opelousas Police, is joining us now on Acadiana Crimestoppers. Thank you so much for your time today.
We're just blessed to be here, and once again to continue to talk about, if you see something, say something, and keep us informed where we can continue to keep the community safe.
Yeah, so I've been hearing nothing but good things about the job that the department is doing in Opelousas, and crime rates have gone down. Can you talk about that?
Well, of course, under the leadership of our current police chief, which is Chief Greg LeBlanc, We have seen a great decline in crime because he's a hands-on chief. And he has us out there in the community protecting and serving and doing what we need to do to let the citizens of Opelousas know that we are here, and we are here to be that buffer between them and anything that may happen wrong in the city. And we've been very blessed that because we have a community relations with the community and with the chief himself out there in the streets with us, the people know that we're there, and we're there to help, to protect and serve, because we want Opelousas to be one of the safest places in Acadiana.
Well, it's just like you said, if you see something, say something. So that's kind of going towards public education.
Correct.
And public education is very important in terms of trying to prevent crime as well.
Yeah, this is very true. So like right now, in the season that we're in, first of all, what folks need to always be vigilant about, in my opinion, and the chief stands firm with this too, is stop leaving your valuables in your vehicles. And when you do leave your valuables in your vehicles, make sure that you put them in a place where they're not in open view. Because many a times what you come to find out is folks use that as an opportunity to, of course, get those items, be it guns, be it valuables, and steal them from you. You know, they're pulling on doors. Some of you forget to lock your doors, and you leave your stuff in plain sight. We infer that you take your valuables and your weapons and move them into your house at all time. I know we're in a culture where people keep guns in their cars, and that's your right. We're all about the Second Amendment right. But at the same time, please take those valuable items when you're not in your vehicle, especially if you're going to leave your vehicle parked overnight. Take them inside the house with you.
Yeah, and that's really exactly right. And that's one thing we like to stress here on Acadiana Crimestoppers, the public remaining vigilant. Now, another thing I wanted to mention, too, the traffic cameras. You said that has played a big role. Can you kind of talk about that?
Yeah, so, of course, you know, that seems to be the hot topic these days. I'm in the position, and so is the chief, understanding this when it comes down to speeding. If you look at the statistics, and they just came out with some national highway statistics, it is speeding in the state of Louisiana that is the third leading reason that people die in the state of Louisiana. So with that being said, these cameras are in place as a preventative measure to let people know if you come speeding through here, you will be ticketed. Because speeding, though it's not a felony crime, it's still a crime, and it's a misdemeanor crime until, let's say for example, let's say you're speeding through a 25-mile-an-hour speed zone. You're doing 55 because you didn't pay any attention. All of a sudden, a child walks out, and what is a speeding incident turns into a vehicular homicide incident if that child is hit, and should that child die. None of us wants that. None of us, we always want to protect the elderly and the children. And with these speeding cameras, speeding has reduced in Opelousas drastically because people know I shouldn't speed through these areas.
Yeah, and the sales tax has also recently passed, and you were telling me that it's 25% of the Opelousas city budget that goes to fire and police. So just that tax passing, that's going to help you guys continue that forward momentum, correct?
Of course it will. And you know, we're grateful to the individuals that came out and voted and supported keeping that tax on the book. When you look at the situation, Trevor, you understand that, first of all, nobody could lose 25% of their paycheck and function like they used to function. Yeah. Had the city of Opelousas lost that and lost 25% of its operational budget, it would have been devastating for the public works, for the fire, for the police, for anything that dealt with city funding, because 25% cut of that nature would automatically had to do with then layoffs. You would have to prioritize things different. But we're blessed that the people came out, they voted, they spoke, and the tax is still in place.
Yeah, and I know we're getting into the new season, right? Football season, and that's what your department's going to be focusing on, keeping those football games safe.
Correct, and not only us, but others, to understand that there is a clear bag policy in place. With that being said, understand what that clear bag policy is, and we have put that on our Facebook page. And I know that St. Landry School System has also put it out there on their page. So you understand that when you go to a game, we want you to be safe, feel safe, and know what the policy is, and know what you can bring into the game and what you can't bring into the game. And with that being said, also know that, once again, I know we're in a hunting state. This is a sportsman's paradise. Leave your weapons at home. Don't put them in your vehicle. I understand some of us hunt, but so much can happen at a game. And we want people to be safe, and we want you to come to the game and to enjoy the festivities.
Okay, so crime dropping in Opelousas. I know you can't speak for the chief, but you can speak about the chief to the public that's watching. What's your last message about what's going on in Opelousas?
You know,
right now?
we appreciate what all the people in Opelousas have done. We appreciate that we work together with the community and that the chief is always there to say we are giving protection through service. So we are servants. We are there to serve. If you see something, say something. If you have an issue, feel free to call the chief, call myself. We answer all calls. And we will sit down and talk to you, and we will try to reason out a way to bring a resolution to whatever the issue is.
Mr. Joe Anderson, a lot of great things going on with the Opelousas Police Department. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
This is a KLFY Plus exclusive, Acadiana Crimestoppers.
St. Martin Parish was also represented on Acadiana Crimestoppers. We spoke to Sheriff Beckett Bro about how the deputies are keeping the community safe. A lot going on in St. Martin Parish. You were telling me that you guys are fighting crime every day.
Absolutely.
I'm sure, Sheriff, it's a really hard job.
Absolutely.
But you're doing it as good as you can.
Well, and you know, we give, you know, I always said this, we give criminals 3 choices: get your life right, become part of a great community, move out of St. Martin Parish, or become a resident of 400 St. Martin Street, which is our jail.
Yeah, and I don't think you want to live there.
No, you don't want.
So, how is the crime? How is crime in St. Martin Parish? Are you guys tackling certain types of crimes? Have you had crimes that maybe you guys are putting a little more emphasis on, like maybe car burglaries or anything like that, drug activity?
And I think no matter where you live, you have issues with you know, burglaries of cars. You know, individuals leave their cars unlocked or leave their guns in a car, which is an easy target. You know, and we try to combat that, and one, by telling everyone, take your guns out your car and your valuables. Don't make it an easy target. Lock your doors, of course. But we got a special crime unit that's focused on that. You know, their job is out there to go to high crime areas and focus on that crime and look for suspicious activity, basically.
So you guys have basically created like a task force.
Absolutely,
and
yes.
their job is to find the areas of high crime and go tackle that crime.
Right, and look, you got all assets of the department working together, which is intelligence, where we reporting, where we get reports of crime. That all goes together, and these individuals are sent to these areas to look for criminals and individuals that are trying to take advantage of, you know, hard-working people.
Yeah, so basically the amount of calls you guys are getting in, maybe crimes that have already been reported in those areas, that all goes into the database, and then you guys have basically a map of where to target, and then your task force goes out and targets those areas. When was that task force created?
We created that about 1.5 years ago, and what we did, you know, myself, Henderson Police Department, Burbridge Police Department, and St. Martinville Police Department came together, and we all supplied, each one supplied someone assigned to this task force. So we, you know, information is crucial, and knowing the individuals that commit crime is very valuable for our crime fighting. And putting these individuals in the same room, working together, has been a benefit to not only the department, but curbing down crime and catching the individuals that are committing crime.
So it is a collaboration. It's a
Absolutely.
collaboration between the St. Martin Parish Sheriff's Office and all the surrounding departments.
Absolutely. Look, we talk about, you know, working together to make a difference, and that's not only departments working together, that's the community working with the department. You know, we can't solve crime or without the help of the community. It's got to be a collaboration. It's got to be, like I said, working together to make a difference. And the difference is put a criminal where he belongs, in jail, so he can stop. You know, we all want to raise a family in a safe environment. Yeah. And working together, we can get that done and accomplish our mission.
So, of course, you guys are trying to bring down crime in St. Martin Parish. Have y'all seen results from this task force?
Yes, absolutely. You know, it's almost like hunting. Trevor, you hunt in a certain area, the deer is going to move in a different area. And same thing with this. You know, it's my focus is St. Martin Parish. You know, I represent 54,000 people, and my focus is to make sure these individuals are safe, and the criminals, you know, go commit their crime somewhere else, or don't commit it at all, you know.
Yeah,
Which
every
would be-
parish, every community has problems with crimes. But what you're saying is that you guys are actively trying to sniff it out. You're actively trying to stop it. And you guys are using intelligence and getting into the modern age in terms of trying to fight crime.
Oh, absolutely.
You're staying ahead of the criminals.
Yeah, you have to these days. And you know, it's not just a matter of individuals calling, giving us tips, but we've got cameras, we got, you know, certain assets that we use within the department, within the agency to fight crime. And let me tell you, it works, and it does a great job. You know, every camera or every individual that talks for us is like having another officer out there.
Yeah.
You know.
Sheriff Beckett Burrows, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And we hope you come back.
Yeah, sure. Appreciate it.
We'll be right back.
This is a KLFY Plus exclusive, Acadiana Crimestoppers.
We appreciate you tuning in to Acadiana Crimestoppers exclusively on KLFY+. We will be back next week detailing the latest crimes to be solved and perps to be brought to justice.